I now invite the Honourable M.E. Sukers.
Honourable Speaker, there has been a concerted effort to discredit this process. The evidence leaders and parliamentary staff, most of whom are women, became collateral damage in an attempt to paint Adv B Mkhwebane as a victim of an abusive process and targeted conspiracy. The ACDP strongly rejects this. The ACDP entered this process with an open mind to establish the facts on the matters before the committee. This process brought into sharp focus the role of Parliament and its oversight function over Chapter 9 institutions. It is our responsibility as office bearers to maintain and uphold the principles of our constitutional democracy. It is our duty of office and our duty to the people of this nation that should be our primary concern. The cost of this inquiry is carried by the taxpayer. We cannot separate the cost from the overall aims of the inquiry or the constitutional obligation of the individual who occupies this office. For us not to mention the flagrant disregard for constitutional duty and obligation as it relates to accountability displayed by Advocate Mkhwebane would be amiss. Mr. Hassan Ibrahim, in his address to the committee, likened the public protector to a superhero. He articulated the intention of the drafters of our constitution in an idealism that is regrettably missing in the public service today. The high ideals that would place consideration of the poor and the vulnerable above self. There is no greater form of elitism but for the poor to beg on their knees for their schools to remain open and for the public servants to have an open check to defend poor decision-making in long drawn-out battles in court on the public's dime. Such court expenses robs the poor of justice, justice which they cannot afford in a court of law. In the end, the deliberate delays, the escalation in cost because of it, and the behaviour of the current public protector through a legal representatives of choice was an insult to this Parliament of the people, which she is accountable to. The process demands fairness and an open mind. The principles of fairness to the individual who is the subject of the inquiry cannot be at the expense of the people of South Africa. It is our submission that the outcome of the inquiry speaks to these principles of fairness, but with the people of South Africa in mind and the constitutional obligation put upon the public protector foremost. The political theatre that grabbed the attention of the nation showed a blatant disregard for the ideals that so-called liberation heroes profess. People like Mr. van Lochenberg and Mr. Samuel were mistreated in this Parliament of the people. Their right to dignity and fairness flagrantly disregarded, as was the concerns and the rights of the people of Vrede. I thank you.